Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com, and in this tutorial we're going to look at reading a file from the internal storage of your phone or device. So in the last tutorial I used this method, openFileOutput, to write to a file, and I wrote the contents of this edit text view to a file in internal storage, and we're going to do the converse of that now and read from it, so that when this application starts up it loads the text that you've saved here right then. So because I want this to happen when the application starts, I'm going to add this to my onCreate method, which is called when the activity is created. And I'm going to add a new method here. Let's call it private void load saved file. And I'm going to call this in onCreate. So let's have load save file here. And now to write the file we had to use openFileOutput. So you might guess that to read the file we have to use openFileInput. And that takes the name of a file, and I'm going to use my predefined text file string here that I declared up here. And I'm going to surround that with a try catch. And I'll change the exception to from file not found exception to just exception, so that we can catch everything that I'm about to do with one catch block. I'll also I'll copy this log debug method from the code for writing the file and paste it in here. And if we can't read the file, I'll say unable to read file. And we'll would expect that message to be output to the debug log in the event that there isn't a file, because we haven't previously run the application. And we need to handle these events in a more graceful way, but for now this will do. So openFileInput returns a file input stream. So I'm going to write here file input stream, and I'll call it FIS. And I'll just add, actually the import's already added, so I don't need to add one. And now I'd like to read this file input stream line by line. And actually there are various ways that you can read and write files in Android, just as in Java generally. And a method that I think is quite good to use here, although it involves a lot of nesting one object within another, is the following. And if you've read and written files in Java previously, you'll be familiar with this kind of Russian doll thing that I'm about to do. But I'm going to say here, I'm going to wrap FIS in a new data input stream object. So I'm going to use that to write wrap FIS. And I'm going to wrap the data input stream in a new input stream reader, like this. So I'm just passing these to the constructor of the next one in the Russian doll sequence. And I'm going to wrap input stream reader in a new buffered reader, like this. So if I've got this right, the error goes away and we're fine. And I'm going to declare a buffered reader here. So buffered reader equals, and I'll just use Control Shift and F to format that a bit. So it looks a bit crazy, but at least we can just catch all the exceptions down here instead of handling them all separately, which would be really a horrible mess. And now the code's quite simple, because see, from FIS I can only read bytes. If I look at methods of FIS, it's got read methods that read bytes into a buffer, which isn't much good to me. I'd rather read something nicer. So I'm going to read this line by line. I'm going to say here while, and in two kind of nested brackets here I'll say while, in fact let's also declare a string line here, and here I'll say line equals reader dot read line. And that's the beauty of doing all this, that we can just use read line, nice and simple. And I'll say that while that lot is not equal to null, so while the stuff in the inner brackets here is not null, then go around the loop, and after that finish and say I'll say fis.close to close this file input stream. And now I want to add this to the edit text control as I read it in. So I'm going to copy some code that I wrote previously here, because I've got this code here to get the edit text. So I'll copy that using find view by ID, which we've seen before, and I'll paste that in. Let's paste it in here actually, and then I'm going to say edit text dot append, and just pass in the line that I read there. And because I'm reading line by line and I'm not reading the new line characters here, I also want to say edit text dot append and append a new line every time we append a line of text, because otherwise it would all just appear on one line because I'm not reading the new lines. So, or rather I'm reading them but just ignoring them. Okay, so that should do the trick, and it's not production ready yet, and we've got to handle things like this a bit better, but let's give this a go. So now if I restart this application, having already clicked save to save it, I should see this same text again, so there'll be no change. Whereas if this, if reading in the save file wasn't successful, we would expect to see a blank edit text. So let's see, installing my application, and hopefully in just a second we're going to get the success message. I'm gonna, in a future tutorial, perhaps the next one, I'm gonna just figure out a way of handling this this kind of situation better, because it's no good having debug messages because the user won't see them. Okay, we've finally got success, and I'm going to go to DDMS here and just check that there are no funny debug messages, and it's loading my application hopefully, so I won't touch it. And here we go, and we've got the text that we previously entered and saved in the main activity edit text here. So that's it for this tutorial, and until next time, happy coding.